one proper shakeout, and then we get continuation. This level is done. We smash through it, and then we go to the top of the range. This needs to break in the next 12 hours. Bitcoin is pulling back exactly as we predicted it. And now I'm going to show you the exact levels where I want to get back in and add to my positions. And not only for Bitcoin, also for some altcoins. So don't miss out and let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here. Once again, we start with the DXY chart and will not lose any time here. So the DXY chart is continuously pumping here to the upside, but we are running here really soon into a big resistance cluster. We actually started to scratch on this already, and it starts, okay, we got close, we are not there yet, but we are close. Between these two levels here, 104 more or less and 104.5, this is now a big resistance cluster. From here, I definitely see a rejection back to the downside with continuation in direction of under 100 points. This, of course, will take a couple of weeks, in my opinion, until we are going to see this unfold, but this is absolutely fine, and it could accelerate once the election in the US is over. While Bitcoin was going down, we, of course, were again trading all together. If you're not trading with us yet on Bybit, then join the squad here at the World Series of Trader, the WSOT. Join our squad. We are right now 77. Let's try to get under the top 20, guys, to get a part of the prize money. Just that you understand, there's over 1,000 squads out there. We are 77. We can manage to do that. We have another 14 days, I think, to manage to do that. We got to 77 within, so let's get now under the top 10, top 20 to get a part of the prize money. I leave a link in the description and in the pin comment below. And if you don't have an account yet on Bybit, open an account, deposit $100, claim your free $500 airdrop position on any of these coins, guys. Any of these coins. There is also a link in the description for this. If you want to take advantage of that, and then actually once you have done this here, you go and join also the squad. Now when we look at Bitcoin, as I just mentioned, everything is going according to plan, and now the big question is, where are the areas where we want to add to our positions or potentially open new positions? So first of all, we ran into the resistance here at $68,500. I have mentioned so many times that this is a big resistance level, and I was expecting an initial rejection from here. I also mentioned that because over here it was resistance, over here it was resistance, here it was, here basically it turned into resistance, and since then we struggled to break above this level. But of course, I have also some positive news, guys. I know the next time that we come up here, after we had our proper pullback, the next time we are going to break this. The next time when we are coming up here, this level is done. We smash through it, and then we go to the top of the range to $74,000 into a new all-time high. But first, we need to complete the pullback. The pullback will be only completed when we get a move back into the mid-range level. I will show you evidence that we need to come back down here before we get continuation. So, of course, we could get front-run here by institutions, and they just sent it. But I believe that this is quite unlikely right now. Here on the 4-hourly chart, why is this a 4-hourly chart? Should be a 12-hourly chart. On the 12-hourly chart with the VPVR clusters, you see here also we are now sitting on top of the former rejection zone, which is acting currently as support. So now it's not a rejection zone anymore. I have to rename it into, it's now a support zone. But also here, I'm still waiting for one proper shakeout to the downside that will potentially go below that and touch here any of these VPVR clusters, 64,000, 63,900, 64,200, 64,500, 600 approximately. That's what I'm looking out for right now. Why do I believe that we will come that low? Because the stochastic is still heavily overextended. The MACD is just about to turn here to the downside and create a sell signal in the next 36 hours. And the RSI has definitely printed now here a bearish divergence with price going lower and the RSI creating higher highs. So that is a clear bearish divergence here on the 12-hourly chart, and this has not played out yet, because when something like this is playing out, you get a candle like this here, at least, and preferably candles like this here, these two candles. So I'm waiting here for a massive wick to the downside that gets immediately bought up, and then we get continuation to the upside. Only then we will manage that. Here another indication for hourly chart with the MDX Algo scalp gradient. Again, if you want MDX Algo indicators, there's also a link for you in the comment section and in the pinned comment below. I really like a lot to trade with them. Yesterday, I told you we are now running hot, and I expect somewhere here that we are topping out. This is exactly what happened. And now we are in a cool down phase. Just that you understand what's happening here. We are now here in this purple reddish phase, something similar like over here. And then we get continuation to the upside until we run into another hot phase. And then at some point let me actually draw this. So I expect something like this here. Then we run hot again. And then we get a proper pullback where we get into the green and cool completely off. And then we get a massive move to the upside. So this is what I believe is going to happen. If it's not going to happen that way, then we just chop sideways and we cool completely down. And then once we start to run here, we run straight into the all-time high. Also here, remember what we said yesterday, we were waiting here for that bearish divergence alert on the reactor indicator for MDX Algo. So now it popped yesterday. Yesterday in the night, apparently showed you on the indicator. I was sleeping in my night. It popped and I was sleeping, so I did not see this. But that's why I said yesterday I want to take a short. I know some guys asked me, Alex, why you are shorting right now? So now you see. So I was calling for a short, I think kind of here. So now see, this is 1.6%. With 20x leverage, that's already 32% profit on the short, So was it a little bit risky? Yes, it was a little bit risky, but I saw all these wicks here, and that just told me that here's so much resistance. And I was always saying from the beginning that once we're getting up here, that we're gonna get an initial rejection before we get any kind of continuation. And this is exactly what happened here. So now on the liquidation levels, so here we cleaned everything. Here all the way up to $68,600. Here on the 4-hourly chart, we are coming close to touch the EMA ribbon. Most likely we're gonna break into the EMA ribbon, at least to the mid band, to $65,400 approximately. But actually, I believe we will come a little bit lower and will touch the 50 moving average. And from if we confirm to get a bounce from there, then we get continuation and grab all the liquidity that has built up above us here and on these liquidation levels. So you see this also on the liquidation heat map. You hear a lot of concentration around the $64,000 area all the way up to $65,000. Here are the most concentrated areas right now. Move the price to. Of course, is also something above us. But now, because we have more liquidity below us, that has built up over the last 3 days, price is going to eat everything of this before we finally get then continuation into higher levels. But this is absolutely fine, guys. So don't worry about this. If you watch the channel for a long time, you knew this is going to happen. We need consolidation and these pullbacks to get the fuel that we need to push into higher prices. So that is nothing to worry about in my opinion. So now when I looked at CoinGlass, then what we can see is that leverage got flushed again. So here, look at this build up. So from here, that was long liquidity that had built up. Everybody went long, and then they got flushed. So, and now we don't see anything. So shorters don't know what they, if they should still enter, because for them it's risky, which I understand. And people that were thinking about going long, they're also not going long right now because they think it's going lower, and they're actually right, so they're also waiting. So here's not a lot of leverage currently in the market, which is good in terms of open interest. So yeah, we just sit on our hands until our levels get hit, and then we continue the journey, you know. So remember guys, 64, 65, that is where I would place my orders, and if it takes a couple of days to get there, that's fine, you know. So I would not worry about this unless we break $69,000, actually $69,000, we might reassess the situation. If you want to stand a chance to win twice per week $500, guys, sign up on ZoomX. You'll still get $1,000 for signing up there and deposit $100 and open at least one trade. You can open and close it immediately. You will not lose any money by doing that, especially if you do it like on 1x leverage or something, you know. So just do that to stand a chance to win here $500 every single week. I'm gonna announce a winner tomorrow. Sign up today to be in here. That is definitely one of my new favorite exchanges. Remember, I promised you something. I said I'm gonna open today a big position here on ZoomX. See, I put $100,000 into this account. Now 12x, I'm gonna do this with 10x because we are not falling 10x. So I'm gonna start scaling into a position here. We need market 25. So here, there you go. I open a small position. I only took 25,000 to open this position because I want to keep adding to this position if we go lower. If not, and we start breaking here this downward sloping trend line, then I'm at least in a position. So, and this is a long-term trade. But like I said, I keep adding to this position if I have to, if we get lower. Let me actually make here some limit orders currently. So if we go lower, then I have here some other. So there you go. See, so in the worst case, I'm already in a position, and the best case, for me at least, we come down here, fill all the positions, and then continue to go to the upside. Again, if you want to trade with me on ZoomX together, there's a link in the description and pinned comment below. Go and check this out. So now, altcoins. The Bitcoin dominance is on a rampage here over the last 2 days, which is not really surprising, but now it looks like that we are potentially finally topping out here. If we close today's candle as it is, because we start to form here a topping formation with a potential reversal by tomorrow. But careful, guys, careful. Only because the dominance comes down does not mean that altcoin's going to moon, you know. So I want to warn you here, guys, because what could happen is that Bitcoin goes down tomorrow and altcoins also go down, and then the dominance also goes down, and that basically means people are extracting money out of the market, out of altcoins and Bitcoin. So, and I would be careful with this, you know. So, because here the USDT dominance is again bouncing back to the upside. So here, best case scenario is that we are just consolidating a little bit in a bear flag and then get continuation to the downside over, by next week. So that is what we want to see here. We don't want to see here now a big move back to the upside. And even if we get a move back to the upside, we want to see a rejection at 5.46%. The total free market cap only needs to close to make me at least happy here above the yellow dotted line at $614.5 billion. If we can manage to do that, then we keep the trajectory to go straight up here to 653 billion. And then once we are breaking this level, 700 and beyond is in the cards. If we get rejected from here, be prepared that we revisit the 590 billion dollar mark here before we get a bounce back to the upside and then attack all these levels. Ethereum, I put the Ethereum chart on the 4-hourly for a simple reason, because Ethereum is looking strong here actually, while we are consolidating under that big resistance area here and getting sandwiched by the EMA ribbon, the underlying support, and the resistance area here. But we have formed somewhat of a bull flag. But I'm telling you, we are running out of time here. So this needs to break in the next 12 hours to the upside. Otherwise, it will be invalidated, that bull flag. And then we will most likely come all the way down to $2,540, which is not the end of the world. But overall indicators are telling us Ethereum might be ready to go back to the upside, because stochastic has bottomed out. RSI is already pointing to the upside. MACD is printing small red candles, not really huge ones. So that might be just some consolidation before we get the next move here. If you want to get into Ethereum, $2,640 or $2,500 are the levels that you want to look at. Actually a little bit higher, $2,540 and $2,640 are the levels where you want to look for an entry. Also on BTCC, I'm going to open really soon a big trade. If you're in a jurisdiction where you cannot use Bybit and ZoomX, go to BTCC. There you get up to 10% on your first deposit. If you deposit $100,000, you get $10,000 absolutely for free on top. But the minimum is $500. You know, so if you have only $500, deposit it, get the $50, withdraw it, the $500, trade with the $50. So you have $50 for free. That's what I would do if I would not have a lot of money, guys. So also there is a link in the description and a pin coin below for this. Let's talk about Solana. Solana consolidating in this bull pennant here. Over the next 12 hours, I would like to see a break out of it and a break above $157 for continuation. Currently, would I enter this here in the secondary setup? Technically you could, but I would not feel really comfortable with it. Why? Because on the daily chart, we just crossed bearish on a stochastic RSI. The RSI is going down. On the 12-hourly, we also have more room to go to the downside, at least for another 34 hours. I would be a little bit careful here. So, but I believe if we go a little bit lower, $147 is the level where you can enter. So I would potentially enter here, and for that reason, pull this here just a little bit lower, and the stop loss a little bit bigger. So now we are looking almost at 20% to the upside. Otherwise, if we break it, this downward sloping trend line of that bullish pennant, then this is what I would use as an entry. And worst case, $157. Now, some of the other altcoins that I'm looking at, Rune is usually really, really strong. Also here we are bottoming out on the 4-hourly chart. I still believe we could come down to the 200 moving average to touch this. So I'm going to use this as my entry. I've mentioned that many, many times that this would be a good level to enter. So that's where I'm going to place my orders. And the targets remain the same that we had here in the past. Then the next one is Render. Render also, same pattern like on Rune, usually also pretty strong here in the recent weeks. So here I'm waiting also for a pullback to like $5. Here stochastic already overextended, going along the bottom here. The RSI wants to point to up to the upside again. Once we print here lighter red candle, regardless where the price is, that's where I might start to enter, because the stochastic will have then already printed a new buy signal at the same moment. So or a proper bullish divergence on this 4-hourly chart. Then the next one is Injective. Injective pumped out of nowhere within an hour 10% today. I still had not the time to check what actually happened, but something happened why it jumped 10% in like 20 minutes. We still have a lot of room to go higher here on the 4-hourly chart. We are about to get a buy signal on the MACD. The stochastic has still a lot of room to go to the upside. On the RSI, we'll lose a little bit momentum because we are running here into this resistance of $21.67 approximately. But once we are clearing this and close above that level, we get continuation in the direction of $24. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on this. Once we're breaking above $21.67, I'm going to open a new long position on Injective, or if we get lucky enough and come back to like $20, like the $20 mark, then also I'm gonna open a position from there. And that's already for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I hope to see you with more money tomorrow.